special in Much West because it features this gentleman right here. That guy is Matt Good, mild-mannered reporter by night, rock star by day.
You got it mixed up.
I did get it mixed up, didn't I?
All right, though.
By night, Matt Good and his band have been selling out shows around the country, and that is why we decided to harass Matt Good for 24 hours straight. This whole show is 24 hours in the life of the Matthew Good Band. All right, Matt, are you excited?
Yes. Yeah. No, dude, leave it up. I love this song. Right. It's so gay that it's good. It's right in the line of it. He just do something like that. It's so bad it's good.
Why are you doing all these shows? I mean, you don't have to tour small-town BC anymore.
Because we're from BC, you know? When it comes, I don't know, when it comes to playing this province or starting a tour and stuff, I mean, we like to pick up as many shows as we possibly can in British Columbia, because it's, you know, our first record sold more copies in places like Powell River or Port Alberni than it did in Toronto, you know, when we're independent. So, it's, you know, it's nice to go back and play for those people and that kind of thing, and they really appreciate it.
Well, there's not enough room here to make a, you know, a proper pentagram. Like we're out of candles.
Around showtime, I mean, especially for me, I've always been kind of a funny person, you know, when it comes to that kind of thing. I don't know, I've always been really weird. I've always been kind of a little bit of a reclusive kind of person, I guess. So for me on this tour so far, it's just been, I've been focusing on a lot of things. I had throat surgery in January, so I've been really kind of concentrating on that and just taking care of myself and that kind of thing, you know. So that's kind of where my head's at.
Ready? Yeah. All right.
Have a good show.
Thanks. See ya. Yeah, start at the bottom of the stairs.
As a perfectionist, do you prefer being in a studio when you can get it exactly the way you want it, or do you prefer being on a stage when...
I think they're two entirely different things. For me, kind of in the context of that perfection, it's about capturing something in the studio. It's about capturing something specific. And the closer you get to capturing it in its purest form, the more perfect it is, obviously. Whereas live, you know, there's a lot of factors that go into it. Obviously, energy, intent, how you happen to be feeling that day.
Well,
It's okay, you can admit it.
it's not that annoying, but, you know, it's not that not annoying either.
I figured you'd be used to this by now.
Not usually right after the show.
This is the first.
Yeah, usually right after the show, we lock the dressing room door for like 20 minutes. And nobody can get in.
What do you guys do in that 20 minutes right after the show when the door is locked? What do you do behind closed doors?
We basically berate how we and everybody else play.
Guitar comes up too much, man. It's just not gonna work.
All four of us are hypercritical people too, right? So, you know, it just it's interestingly enough worked into kind of a situation where that's what we just expect of one another. So there's no, you know, there's no kind of ill will towards somebody when you go, you know, what the hell was that?
And then we have a big group hug, and we all feel better, and then we go get drunk. Well, we all have a group hug except for Matt. It's not allowed in our group hug.
Especially as a singer, that's always been a difficult thing for me because I'm really a perfectionist when it comes to singing live. And
it's a curling rink.
I lose far too much sleep over it, I'm sure.
You ready?
Go for a ball. Go for a ball.
Oh, do it. Outside. Line outside.
Nice.
There we go.
Do it again.
Is that the kind of television you're looking for? Camera one. Camera two. Camera one. Okay, we're good. Okay, meet and greet now. Let's go. Kind of makes it like a rap.
Want to see 1,000 screaming fans?
Here we go.
Matt gets inundated with a lot of people coming up to him all the time, and it's, you know, that's a lot of pressure, you know. It's weird, you know, I think it's very weird for him to be in a room and just know that people are looking at him all the time.
Right.
You know, watching what he's going to do. He just wants to relax.
Yeah, I gotta see about doing something. You read what I wrote? What did you say? Go home. All right. There you go. Sorry? There you go. More people? Even though it's not there,
How are you supposed to love, you know, how are you supposed to love fame? There's entirely too much ego involved in that, isn't there? I could lose my hands in a tragic drill press accident or something like that. You never know. And anything can be taken away from anyone at any time. You know? That's the way the world is. I mean, and at some point, there's got to be a counterbalance. At some point, you've got to just be able to sit back and listen and or say to yourself, you know, you're still you. You know what I mean? And if you lose sight of that, then you're screwed, really. Because what happens if all this goes away? You know, the person you once were is gone, and the person that you have to be is all that remains. And, you know, one day no one's really going to give a shit about that.
Timo, open it up. Open it up.
I never got into this to really for that. I got into it to make records, to make albums, you know what I mean? Right. To make 10 records. To have the kind of career where I could make 10 albums.
Here you go.
short people get commented about how short they are. Like when I go to a bar and I'm really 21, I get ID'd. The good thing about it is I get to go trick-or-treating when other people don't. So I really don't like how short people get judged.
Hey, Kristen.
Yo.
What happened to the frog's car when he parked it outside of his work?
I don't know.
It got towed away. Towed?
I wanted to say something influential, something everybody remembers, something that would make a difference or something would be remembered. But there's no such thing like that anymore. You gotta find your own things. You gotta listen to your own things. No one will ever say anything anymore that'll really make a big impact on you. So just decide what you want to do. Make up your own mind. Don't even listen to me.
We were a little naive at first, you know, 5 years ago when we started out, and now we realize that this is a business.
Tuesday, Much Music takes an in-depth look at NSYNC.
Yeah, they can sing really well.
They sing really well.
And they can sing.
We were friends before we were a group, and one of the things that's
Private mailing man.
State your name for the record.
Ben Valentine. Ben's got a very interesting job.
What do you do, Ben Valentine?
I'm from Risk Protection Management just north of Toronto. And I'm Matt Goodband's tour security and bodyguard and chauffeur and friend and runabout.
Well, his number one job is to make sure that people don't get on stage and, like, grab our heads or something like that. Right. But also, you know, to make sure that, you know, that weird people don't be weird to us, right? And to sort of keep control in the situation, you know, when there's a lot of people trying to talk to us or to get us to sign stuff or whatever.
So you're the muscle.
The friendly muscle.
With the small amount of privacy that we get on the road, you know, you really value those moments, and he's there basically to give us space when we need space.
Go ahead. Oh, yeah. Can we do this later?
Sure thing.
Thanks.
Ben, I know that you like to take care of Matt, but isn't this a bit much?
No. It's all for the show.
He's such my bitch, isn't he? You know what? I'm going to share this with all the people. This is the art section of the Thursday, April 13th, 2000 edition of the National Post. And Barry Manilow is happy with the way bands like Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, and 98 Degrees write songs. I hear melodies again. I hear harmonies. I actually hear a decent lyric. I would love to launch into something right there, but the only really words that come to mind are that Marlon Brando's Final Thoughts and Apocalypse Now, the horror.
Hey man, I love the Backstreet Boys.
I'm sure you do.
I've been working on manicuring my facial hair for years to look like them.
I've heard the trick is to use eyeliner. You draw it on your face with eyeliner and then try and shave within the lines.
No way, really? You're not kidding, are you?
I'm not making this up.
Is that how you
do I look smart enough to do something like that?
Is that how you do your soul path? You draw some eyeliner with there, try and shave around it.
Shave around it. It's true.
Do you do that with your back?
Do I shave my back?
Yeah.
Most of it. But the parts I can reach.
How do I know you guys again? Exactly?
You don't know us. You'll never know the true us, man.
That's why Brown sits over there, because he's smart.
Whatever.
It's 12:30 in the morning or afternoon or whatever, and we're 21 kilometers away from Ladysmith, British Columbia.
We sort of hold America up as the standard for success, yet we are contemptuous and call people sellouts when they actually do get success in the States.
So that's just called typically being Canadian, isn't it? It's like we're held up against the rest of the world in music from America, and people expect us to be something, but that we're never going to be that. You know what I mean? Like, Canadian bands will never be as cool as American bands, or never as cool as British bands. because British bands are loud and rancorous and you know, and offensive, and they play that whole game where they don't really give a shit, and it's all, you know, screw you and let's attack people on airplanes. And Americans are all about, you know, whatever Americans are all about. Somehow we get lost in between, and I find that kind of strange and sad in a way. I mean, how many times I've been asked, you know, how do you guys feel about, you know, America? Do you want to make it big in America? And that kind of thing. Like, we've even had show reviews going, you know, these guys are pretty good, but, you know, they haven't really done anything in America, so they're not that great. And how, you know, I don't live in America. Why am I being held up to that standard at all, you know? It's absolutely ridiculous. I think it's ridiculous that when, you know, especially the media in this country kind of holds you up to this, this standard that if you're not great somewhere else, then what's the point? You know what I mean? And all I have to say about that is look who's ruling America right now. So don't go giving them any credit. Okay, because if NSYNC can break the world record for record sales in one day, that's saying something really wrong about America. What the hell is that?
What is that?
That is the biggest purple ball.
I don't even want to know what that is.
That's the weirdest porta potty I ever seen.
Be advised, HMV.
It's like an experiment sometimes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Sometimes with the media, you have to do that. You know? I do it a lot, just because it's fun.
Is there anything in my teeth?
You're clean.
I guess it doesn't matter for radio, does it?
The one thing about me that I like the best is what other people, everybody seems to have opinions about me. And I think, especially when it comes to interviews, that's what I love, because I always try to sit back and see what other people formulate about this band, members of this band, before I kind of really answer anything. You know what I mean? Right. So, and I find that it changes everywhere I go.
Well, it changes with each person you speak to.
Absolutely. I heard you were so-and-so, and I heard you were this, and I heard you were that. You know, and you just kind of take it all in and go, okay, I'll be that for 5 minutes. What the hell?
So you play to those impressions?
Sometimes I play to the opposite of them. It just depends what kind of mood I'm in, really. Or what kind of mood Dave's in, or Ian's in, or Rich is in, depending on who's doing the press. You know, Rich is particularly good. Rich, what did you do that one time you were on the phone? The guy asked you how long you've been playing bass, and you said what? Like a month?
Yeah, I told him about a month. I think what I told him is that I was a valet parker, and I met you while parking your car in front of a restaurant, and you asked me to join your band, something like that.
We have Matt and Dave from that there group in the studio right now here at the Q on Quadra Street. Hello, gentlemen. How you doing?
How's it going?
I don't particularly enjoy doing press. I don't particularly enjoy, you know, getting asked questions, you know, people prying into, you know, our personal lives.
Oh, I can hear something. Oh, hi. How are you?
Dave has an email question now.
Ryan Cracknell. That's a great last name, Cracknell. He asks you, Matthew, how have the Muppets influenced you and your career?
That's a good one.
That's, you know, that's one of those questions one could write a novel in response, I think. I don't know, man. That's unbelievable.
Did you watch the Muppets when you were a kid, Matt?
In a lot of ways, really, they've influenced my career. I think that without the existence of the Muppets, I can't even begin to really answer that.
You're one of those people who actually sees Snuffleupagus, aren't you?
If I say something, I tend to mean it.
Well, which brings us back to the interviews where you experiment all the time.
Sure. Well, I mean, making shit up. I mean to make it up.
There was a time, John, when this puppet wasn't attached to my body. But now it just goes with me everywhere.
I can see
it's a bitch to play guitar.
I guess I'm a bit of a hypocrite. No, I'm not a bit of a hypocrite. I am a hypocrite, and I'm proud of it. I live in an age of hypocrites.
Let's go to the phones here. Who's this on line one? Hello.
Hi, gentlemen. This is Sarah Louise.
Hi, Sarah Louise.
Hey, how you doing?
I just want to let you guys know that a couple of years ago, I found myself in pretty devastating surroundings, and I didn't think there was much else for me in the world. And then I found Ghetto Astronauts, And it made me see just how limiting and ridiculous my situation was. So I got courage, and I became fearless, and I left it.
Rich and me were getting in the van last night. What did that lady say, Rich?
She said she wanted to thank you because your music helped her get through her mother's death.
Which is like the heaviest thing that anyone, I just looked at her and I said, thanks, you know? I mean, it's situations like that when people say things like that to you, completely off the cuff as you're getting into a van, and you're just like, you know what, I could quit now. What more is there to achieve at this if someone's willing to say that to you? You know, not a lot.
And I just want to tell you guys that you touch souls. You do great things for people. And I want you to know that if there's anything I can do for you, like for your soul while you're in my town, or anything, anytime ever, I just want you guys to know that I love you, and a lot of people love you, and you guys are doing excellent work for the world.
Thank you, my dear.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
That means a lot to us.
Means a lot.
That's worth more than $1 million, man.
Matt and Dave of the Matthew Good Band have a great show at the Central.
Thanks very much for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for coming back, and don't be strangers for so long. It's been
We promise we'll be back sooner than last time.
much too long.
Definitely.
So when it comes to the media and people start asking you questions about, you know, ridiculous stuff, which a lot of the times when you are interviewed, they do, you know, just the most absurd things.
Such as?
Well, I don't know, like, how'd you guys get together 1 million times? I mean, I've been asked that question by, like, the same person 5 times, you know? I think my favorite answer is that we were all on a cruise liner that went down, and we made instruments out of coconuts. And, how's the rest go, Dave? We were going to be eaten by cannibals, and
We soothed the natives. We fashioned instruments out of coconuts and palm trees and learned to play music so that it wouldn't be eaten by the cannibals.
And then, you know, some people go, you know, oh, really? And some people go, oh, he's an asshole. Why is he doing that? Oh, he's an asshole.
Are you?
Not really. But for some strange reason, I have this... it precedes me. People seem to think I am automatically. I don't know why that is, actually.
Well, I was just going to say that it's probably because whenever anybody, you know, asks us what's wrong with Matt, we just say, oh, don't mind him, he's just an asshole.
Rich?
What was the question?
Is Matt Good an asshole?
Is Matt Good an asshole? Matt is probably one of the kindest, most gentlest souls on the face of this earth. Just loving and caring and giving. It's all about other people, really.
It's all about joy, really.
Yes, it's
About spreading joy, yes, throughout this great nation of ours.
Matt, I love you. Give me a hug.
Don't touch me, Richard.
Don't touch me. I think he revels in his assholedom.
Yes. What a word you have just created.
I think he uses it as a shield to protect the tender child within.
You know,
So, is that because are you guys like low on positive energy?
I'm a little low on I'm a little low on energy in general.
And what causes that? The lack of sex? Is it lack of food, lack of sleep?
It's all of the above, Al.
All of the above. And which would you put, if you wanted to rank them 1, 2, 3, which would you rank as the most important of those 3?
Food.
Food? You've been on the road too long, haven't you, bud?
Yeah, a whole 4 days.
Hey, Matt. All right, not bad. Good to see you. You too?
So how are we doing this? In 2 vehicles?
I have no idea. I was just going to go with the one, but I think Ben suggested you guys go in the van, just follow me up there, and we'll do the interview, and then you guys are going to go to the venue. I got to come by first and come back here. So.
Oh, okay. Cool.
So I know where it is.
Sign my ticket.
Okay.
It looks pretty.
My friend Lynn, she was like waiting, but she had to go because she had work. And she bought you guys Oriental candies. They're really good.
Oh, that's terrific.
But we kind of got hungry.
We kind of got hungry, so we ate a couple.
So you had a couple, yeah. There's a lot of free time on this gig. Yeah, there's a lot of, you know, and that's probably the thing that you have to get used to the most, right? You know, the best part of your day is the hour you spend on stage, or, you know. And then there were 23 hours, you're just left to sort of, you know, amuse yourself, you know, so. But,
So how have you tried to amuse yourself lately?
Oh, I don't know.
And remember, this is playing at Family Hour.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I do a lot of, playing chess and, reading. I've been going through the encyclopedias for me, starting. I'm at F now, Okay. That was my girlfriend. She, every time on the road, she gets a new dog or a new cat.
What did she get this time?
A dog.
How many animals does she have?
We have 10 cats and a dog, plus this other dog that she's just taken, a foster dog. Yes. Yeah.
Wow. A little bit of Dr. Dolittle in you guys, huh?
Yeah.
Did she do that to punish you?
I don't think it's punishment. I think it's sort of a surrogate thing, if I'm not home, then she can play with the animals.
It's only 4 days into your 7-week tour.
Yeah.
And already it doesn't sound like you're not liking it very much.
Oh, no, it's great. It's great. It's, you're not... Unfortunately, the camera being around does not give you an active representation of what actually goes on the road, right? Because the camera changes everything right away.
All right. Well, tell us what would happen if I wasn't here.
Oh, there's basically dancing, and we play a lot of bingo during the day. We like to, frequent bingo halls. It's an easy way to meet people, friendly people. This looks like a bit like a bingo hall in sort of curling rink kind of way.
Well, who's the bingo king? Yeah,
that would be Ian. He's one of those guys who can play like 15 cards at the same time. I don't know how he does it.
That is a skill. That's a gift.
Yeah. The bonus area.
Pre-show ritual.
They didn't win.
That's where gambling will get you rich.
I guess I can't leave the tour just yet.
Did you win anything, Matt?
No.
Okay. On your computer. Okay.
Ooh. I thought for a second there $10,000, but it was not to be. Now, I never, actually I got a funny story about that. I once worked at a Shell station, a gas station, with this 16-year-old kid. I was like, I guess I was like 19 or 20 at the time. And we used to sit around all day and just blow money on buying these. And the little bastard won like $26,000.
No way.
Yeah.
Let's go, kids. Let's go lay some middle down.
Your friends on the cemetery room were not given.
Do you like Matt?
Of course I like Matt. Matt and I are very, very close. Very good friends.
All right. You see, I get that impression because the way you deal with him and the way he deals with you suggests one of two things. Either you don't like each other or you're so close that you can't, there's nothing he can say that will offend you.
Well, I mean, the thing is there's mutual respect there, and, we have a very unnatural relationship because of the amount of time that we spend together. A creative relationship and a working relationship, as well as a friendship. And when you're that close to someone, you spend that much time with people, it tends to get to a point where, you can say anything you want, and the next day it's either forgotten or it's remembered, depending on what it is. The moments that we have apart from each other are very, very precious to us on the road because most of the time we're completely joined.
Conversation last night that the best artists, or at least the ones that make the most not important music, but the one that you remember the most, are usually the ones who are the most miserable. They connect with something other than...
Sure. Yeah.
Are you miserable?
I wouldn't say I'm miserable. No, I don't know what I am. I'm comfortable with who I am. Let's put it that way.
that's the one question I get asked in press a lot is, you know, how does it feel to be in a band named after a guy? You know, doesn't it make you jealous? It's like, that doesn't make me jealous. I don't have any particular designs on fame, and at the same time, it's no different than any other band. I mean, everybody knows the singer's name from Bush, but nobody knows what the guitarist's name is.
Face before it changes, and it makes you look nicer in a bad way. So it's too late.
The face of the group is Matthew, and the creative force behind the group is Matthew. Does very well. It's not an easy job that he has, being the focal point in a situation like this. But at the same time, you know, Chris, you can't take this too seriously. You have to, you know, our record is only out, well, it's out in Europe now, but I mean, we're only a success in this country. There's 30 million people in this country. We've sold 160,000 copies of our new record, which means that less than 1% of the population has our record, which means that less than, you know, one out of every 200 people is going to maybe be familiar with our music as you walk down the street. Right. You can't, you know, you can't let it get too far away.
I think the one thing in rock and roll in this day and age that I sorely miss is there's no mystique anymore. Everybody knows everything about everybody, and that's just so lame. It's just not fun. It's a hell of a lot funner when you don't know nothing. It's just like, you know, you go into interviews and you go into that kind of thing and everyone wants you to be so literal. It's all about being literal, you know, and that's the one great thing about music that I think that it can apply to everybody. So, I mean, obviously it's going to mean what it means to me, but more importantly is what does it mean to you? Because if it doesn't mean anything to you and you just want to know what I mean, what's the point? You know, then I might as well be writing songs about chicks and wearing white and riding on Ferris wheels, because it would just be background music.
It's a great job, you know, but it's a job, what we do. Right. It just happens to be the best job on earth, that's all.
this is all